K Show. We are live here on Tech Sunday. So with us, we have our guests. We have John Capizzi, and I don't think he needs much of an introduction. I think everybody knows him. And I remember saw on that shirt that you had. What was that? Let's see if I have it. Here we go. Stock block the world. So, I do have a question though. Is that a stock block right there?
It looks like the remnants of one.
Right? That destruction was like, wow. One of the better ones I've seen.
I've tore up a couple stock bottom ends that bad, but
yeah.
Happily, we got the last couple of them living really well. So
okay. Nice.
Yeah, Baker Engineering put a couple motors together with good rotating assemblies, center counterweighted cranks and careful balancing and the right bearing clearances and all that kind of stuff, and kind of treating them like a stock bottom end motor, just with a bunch more boost. And yeah, they're taking it. Everything looks great.
That's awesome. Yeah, Jasper was telling me quite a bit. I was amazed what you were capable of doing. The stock block and tuning too makes a big difference.
It definitely does. Kind of treat it soft, like it's like it's all fairly delicate parts. But if you put decent parts in it, man, the whole combo seems to live really well.
Awesome.
Twist the motor really hard. We're shifting 88, 8900, and the oiling system keeps up. So. And the valve train's under control. Other than that, yeah, it's just making power, and it's in a fairly light chassis, so it survived really well.
That's awesome. I think I saw a video of you benching your car in the wintertime for exercise.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice having a go-kart for a chassis. The non Mustang guys get all bent out of shape, and
do they?
They want to throw shade, but it's like, I don't know why I'd want to race a heavy truck in a car class. So pick a knife and bring the sharpest knife you can put together.
There you go.
So.
I don't know, out of curiosity, how much does your car weigh, if you don't mind sharing? If you don't want to.
Well, last year, it should have been able to be lighter, but the way I had the car set up, scaled, it required a bunch of tail ballast to work. Okay. So it wasn't as light as what minimum weight would have been. We were racing that car, like the 425. The 425 pass at 169, that was at 2,536 pounds with me. So not super heavy, but we had 270 pounds of ballast in the car. Okay. So it has the potential to be very light. So moving some weight around right now, making some chassis adjustments, and moving the puke tank to the trunk where it should have been. Any alcohol car has no business having a puke tank up front. It's just asking for trouble. I got away with it for 2 years, but it's time to move some of the stuff and deleting the radiator. Finally, we were treating that thing like a street car. So now kind of pulling out all the stops and getting rid of all the extra weight. Okay. It's a lean, mean, and actual X Pro 275 chassis, and minimum weight with that combo is 2,250. So if I was dumb enough to ever actually enter Pro 275 for more than just test sessions, I would want it to be right at minimum weight and scaled where it needs to be. And I think on paper, I think the car can go 399, 180.
Wow.
So we'll see if that's possible. It may split sleeves long before that, but I have the guts in it to do it. It's just whether the block will take it or not.
I got you. Actually, I'll play a video clip link that you sent me showing your run that you did for everybody, so they kind of get a chance to take a look at it here. Oop. There's a picture, not the that's his car. So here we go.
Yeah.
So you guys go. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to edit that, but so yeah, that was quite a nice pass there.
Yeah, that was October. I was trying to reset the stock block record that day, but we didn't have quite the surface. It was all but there. I went 426 to the eighth, 169. I tried to sneak up on it a little bit more, and it would rattle the tires 80 feet out. It just wouldn't quite hold any more power. So rather than kind of throw the whole day away, I wanted a 6-second pass. As the 426 pass, I shut off early, and it coasted and went 705. I'm like, all right, well. So I dumped the boost out of it at half track at 8th mile, or 4.8 seconds. I think I dumped it back to gate. And I lifted at 194 and went 672, 182.
Okay.
So
nice.
Pretty cool. Got my 6-second pass out of the way.
Very nice.
Let's roll one.
Definitely. So Jasper, we have our co-host Jasper with us, and I know you guys are good friends. And we have Mark Mosier out in Arizona.
Guy,
out there, he's working on his car, and so we're gonna have them kind of jump on here with us as well too. And do you guys have more questions, Jasper? You want to continue?
Yeah. So on moving your catch can to the back, how are you running the hoses through the car?
At this point, I'm going to run a single aluminum tube. And at this point, I'm running through the firewall fairly high. I'm going to run a 16 off each valve cover to an aluminum catch box on the firewalls, or on the engine side of the firewall. And then I'm going to pass it through to a single 1.25 inch aluminum tube. And that goes just barely downhill all the way through the car to the trunk, kind of just to the passenger side of the shifter. So it's not in the way of anything, but it's a direct shot, just a straight piece of 6-inch tubing, or 6 foot long piece of tubing, and it'll be downhill. So it should drain moisture and remnant crud. And then putting a 3-gallon cell in the trunk, and obviously a vent through the deck lid.
So like a few people I noticed that, like, if you have it go below where it comes off of the valve cover, you almost need like some sort of valve or relief at the lowest point.
You do.
And then what would you feel about running it up the cage and then back down? The problem being is all the moisture would go back into your motor. But could I trick that with a probe in the oil pan that I plugged in as soon as I got back from the run, and a vacuum on the valve cover?
I kind of think the uphill thing is probably a better plan, just because while the engine's making moisture and kind of all the, at least part of the time, you're going to have excessive G-force. So anything that's, you're going to have an updraft through those hoses. So you're going to have some liquid and air movement, plus, acceleration. So at least you're going to get a majority of that stuff up to the high point. And if you can get it past that high point, near the top of the cage, I think it'll gravity drain back. Obviously some will still come forward, but I think a good deal of it'll go backward. So
I think that's what we're going to try with mine. We're going to run that braided clear hose that everyone runs and try to tuck it up the passenger side of the cage and then back through the tin and into the
just put a valve on it right there where it runs up the cage, and have a water trap just like you would an air hose. If you got moisture run back down, just drain it out.
I spent a lot of time trying to theorize the best way to do that, and there seems to be no best way. There's always some kind of a drawback. So darn methanol cars making water.
Yep, that's definitely interesting, though. That's what I was kind of building this one. I've been wondering on what the heck I should do with it.
I was weighing, foot sections of hose, and I'm like, man, a lot of these guys are running like number 16 lines all the way to the trunk. And I'm like, there's 30 pounds plus worth of hose just in the midsection of that hose. And, I found a 38 thousandths wall pipe, aluminum pipe. That whole tube only weighs like 1.6 pounds for a 6-foot section. So I'm like nitpicking weight, but
yeah, that's pretty cool. Though.
Like, man, if I could take 25 pounds out of it just in, that run of, liquid transfer or breather transfer, it's a big deal.
Yeah, you're now making me want to wire mine into one before I go through the cage, like up in the wiper cowl, wire it from the 2 valve covers and then run one the rest of the way.
This single 1.25 inch aluminum tube, the inside diameter is virtually exactly the same what 2 number 16 AN hoses are, internal area wise. I'm thinking, yeah, all right.
Oh,
I like that.
That sounds sweet. That's pretty cool. Are you going to try to run your box pretty low, I imagine, then? And then just run your round tube really tall?
Yeah,
that might help on some of that, like getting pooled up in any spot.
Yeah, so the tube, at ride height, the tube actually, I'm running it out of the top section of the dashboard above the like the section that juts out where the glove box would be. So like the upper section closer to the windshield is where it's going to come through. And then the natural lay for that thing, it's going to drop a little over 2 inches from the front of the car to the back.
How many passes are you getting out of one of them stock block LSs?
The motor that was in the car last year, I just had Baker Engineering tear apart and kind of look over. Figured we'd see if it needed, if we needed to address bearing health or, if it's tearing stuff up or whatever. That one had 82 passes on it, and all I did was change the oil and put a handful of spark plugs in it. So never had a valve cover off since I put the motor in the car like August before last. So it's been in there a little over a year and 82 hits and been 450 or faster, like 44 passes.
Nice. What about the sleeves? You running a stock sleeve? They've been talking about changing one sleeve because it breaks, but then it puts the other 3 out of round. What do you know about that?
The engines that I have, that is a concern. Right now, mine are factory GM sleeves. These are a couple 100,000-mile core motors that we're starting with, and obviously they magnaflux them and kind of look through them, make sure there's no funny business. But mine are 3800 bore, just factory. The one that was in the car last was a 2011 Suburban.
Okay.
So, not sleeved yet. That's on the list. No, that's a LC9 5.3.
Okay.
Yeah, we picked a 5.3 and we really made enough power with it, so haven't really felt the need to gravitate, to the bigger bores. And really we did that to keep the sleeve thickness. And the motors have water in them, so I think the water actually helps strength wise. I think it's just it soaks up some of the harmonics. I don't, I'm not totally a scientist on that, but we've had really good luck. Haven't heard anything block wise. In this car, I've been 171 to the 8th at 2,565 pounds. So, I mean, it's making a good bit of power, but if they're staying together, shoot, I'm happy. John Ryan's asking, I have not split a sleeve. I have not. From what I understand, I think Nigel and the Brutal Speed guys, I think they broke 2 sleeves last year. So I'm a little bit gun shy, but thus far, my bores are round. Everything's looking good. So until I break one, I guess, we'll see. Is it a different recipe? Is it leaving water in the block that's taking it a bit further? I'm not really sure. But I hope to not have to sleeve these things because, in my opinion, a sleeve stock block, it's not a stock block. It's cheated up. Say what you want, but it's not stock. If we can all sleeve them, I'm down for that. I'll drag you with a sleeved one, but it is what it is.
Do you mind sharing what kind of boost levels you're so far being able to put in a stock block? Just trying to get an idea a little bit for some people.
Yep. The 171 mile an hour pass, it had 50.7 pounds in it.
On a stock block?
Damn.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
50 pounds
50 pounds of boost. It's party time.
For
it's
sure.
party time. So even cooler than that, if you look at the data overlays that Andrew Corder does on some of my passes, you leave on about 15 pounds of boost. In 7/10, it's making 46. So I mean, it's in pretty quick. Let's party. There's no time for dilly dallying. Let's go.
What size chargers on that?
I had a Garrett 98 on it. It's about to have a Jose 102. Mostly for weight loss. It's 7.8 pounds lighter. So,
see, a lot of people switching to that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a really bad piece. I'm excited to see it. I'm hoping I have enough engine to actually use the airflow.
Are you filling the block?
Well,
no fill.
What is your opinion on filling the block? I know a lot of people claim water's your best filler, and vice versa.
The factory aluminum block, you can't. The short story is you can't fill it. If you fill a factory GM block, they crack. The sleeves still expand, and when they do, the filler is rigid enough. They break the outside of the block. They push the outside of the block away, and they blow chunks off of the outside. Like the section that holds the motor mount on will disappear. It'll just, the oil pan will be holding the outside of the block together. It's crazy.
Is it kind of like that picture I showed you? What happens?
Yeah, pretty much. It's crazy. So I mean, the sleeves are still intact. It's wild. Like, I'm trying to think of, I think Nigel and John, the guys from Brutal Speed, Stock Block the World guys, they filled one of theirs and broke it in just a handful of passes, and pulled the guts out of it. The rotating assembly was still good, and they ended up putting the rotating assembly back in the block that they ran prior to that filled block, and it ran quite a while. So it's kind of been proven. Anybody making north of like 1,500 wheel horse with these 5.3s, if you fill them, you're gonna pick up pieces. You need the dustpan situation.
Even on the iron?
Iron, I think fill is the way to go. Okay. And I don't know why the aluminum can't be done, if it's a strength thing or if it's
like you said, I think everything in there is expanding more than it will on an iron.
I think they need to move. Yeah, it's either they need to move or its expansion rates are wrong, and it just can't deal with it.
Yeah,
I'm not really sure what it is, but it's a no-no. It's a big-time no-no.
What do you think about people that dry deck it?
I think that's a good idea. I think it's kind of a mixed bag.
Dry decked.
Okay.
They just open everything up and leave it wide open with no water in it, and they didn't fill it either on an iron block.
Our blower motors are that way. I got one with a bow tie block. We've been running. It's a bracket car. Goes 350s, make 2,000 with no water. Dry. It's not filled. It's been double tough. Just leave it wide open.
Yep.
Because I'm trying to figure out how I should go about that, because we don't run a radiator and we just have it capped off. And I think I talked to you about it when we were at your shop. Where like I'm thinking of running it to a little, like little catch can, the round ones with a radiator cap on top. So like if it builds pressure, it can relieve it a little bit.
That's
it just plugged up.
Kind of my theory too. And it's amazing how much heat they don't make. Like, my car with a radiator in it, I used to drive the thing to the lanes, and by the time you got to the lanes, it had 4 to 5 PSI, 4 to 5 PSI in the cooling system. You do the burnout, stage the car, make the pass. It never saw more than about 11.
Oh,
so it didn't change much. It was crazy. And until we really started getting after it this year, it was actually losing temperature going down the track. It would lose 2 degrees on a pass. So, they're fat and sassy then. You're fueling it heavy enough to pull heat out of it. Since I started getting after this thing, now it gains a degree or 2 on an 1/8 mile hit. So it's like, all right, we can deal with that.
Yeah, lucky for me, I don't ever have to push mine that hard, so we just let her be fat. And we turn up the boost if we need a little more.
We're not very hard on them in the no prep stuff. Like this bearing right here, I don't know if you guys could see that good on here. It's out of my 618. Yep. It's got 600 passes on it. We got it down, pulled apart. These are the bearings here. It's a billet block though, but not bad. Still has the cross hatches in the bore.
John just pulled apart my transmission with 300 passes, and They look brand new.
Yeah, it's a good piece. You got to love taking those apart instead of the dustpan ones. You pull the bolts out and dump everything in the bucket and start building new parts in it.
They say pass that motherfucker, Jasper.
I think Nikola Tesla, probably somewhere hidden, the FBI stole it. He had an invention where I could have probably passed it to you from here, but unfortunately, you need to just be here.
There you go.
How many passes are you getting on bearings on a 5.3? You got to change them every 10, or are you getting a lot of time out of them?
Do you ever make it to that point, or do you just pick up the pieces and grab a new one?
Like the junkyard motors, when I was running the like if you're talking stock or like the stock bottom end stuff, I went 450 with a stock bottom end motor at 2,560 pounds, and that motor, I broke 2 of them between 33 passes and 38 passes, and they made like 1,410 wheel horse on my Dyno jet, about 32 pounds of boost. And yeah, they live 30 to 35 passes before they give up in a really exciting, catastrophic way. But the stock block motors, my street car has a similar build to what's in my race car, other than it's got steel rods in it and a different style cylinder head, LS9 gaskets. And that motor now has 104 passes on it and 5,000 street miles ish. We drive it to the track, went 748 last year and drove it back home. So bearings live basically forever. There's no metal in the filter. Like I haven't even had a valve cover off either of those cars in 2 years or, a year and a half.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you feel about
bearing destruction is tune up? If you detonate it, you're going to put bearings in it.
Yeah. I thought 600 passes was pretty good for me spinning a big block 7,800. So
yes, sir. That's the way to be. The rest of it's all in
yes,
in the right wheelhouse.
Yep. It's close.
How do you feel about head gaskets, like O-ringed head gaskets, and people using these O-rings in the heads to put onto multi-layer gaskets and stuff like that on these kind of blocks and stuff?
Mixed. I think if it's got an aftermarket cylinder head on it, you can go a long, long ways with just regular MLS gaskets. Mm-hmm. Like we made 1,500 wheel out of my street car is a 5.3. It's 328 cubic inch. It's 9.4 to 1. And, I made 1,480 wheel on my dyno with that car on pump E85 air to air. And that's got BTR LS9s and half inch ARP 2000 head studs. And, no maintenance, no cylinder pressure. It's been 470s, 151 to the 8th at 2,950 pounds. It runs awesome. It just does its thing. At the next level, like if you needed to make over 1,500 wheel, I would say I would be planning on hooping it. Put fuel hoops in it, do copper gaskets. There's no questions. I've been 54 pounds of boost with the other motor, like a little over boost by accident, traction control stuff. And that thing has never had more than 11 pounds of cooling system pressure, like zero, like never a spike, never in anything. That's 100% the answer.
Okay.
Hoop it. If you make a mistake or have an injector fail or anything else, all the mistake is coming out the oil pan. There's no question lifting the head.
You got a good point there. Yeah, I don't know. I was just curious if people are for doing the hoop and some are for not, and using like an Athena type gasket, that has the O-ring in the gasket, and I was just curious what opinions were about that and the blocks.
Personally, I have seen nothing but destruction from Athena gaskets. Okay. I do know other people and engine builders that I trust very much that have had nothing but great experience. But the 5 or 6 cars that I've had hands on or have good friends that had Athenas on their car have had catastrophic results. It almost always kills a cylinder head when they go. Two of those 6 cars they put in the wall from water. I don't have good feelings about it myself, but some like Mike Lowe has, he's one that pushes it, and his motors live really well with them. So you can't say they don't work. Some work really well, but personally myself, I would not use them.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. Everybody's experience, and I heard a lot of people talk about doing the hoops and stuff. And I've always run a Dyno gaskets, with big boost, but not having really a lot of problems, but in a different block than the LS blocks. So that's why I was curious. Because I'm getting ready to go LS, kind of doing what you're doing with my car. It's a kind of a long-term project if I get to it this year, I hope, but we'll see. So I'm just getting information and learning as I go along too as well.
We run a Cometic MLS gasket at 80,000. We're a nitrous car though; it's not quite as hard.
Okay,
but we have blown a head gasket before. You see, we got Jim here with me. He helps me out. We blow a head gasket before, and it did wreck the head. We had to take it in and get it welded up. So I agree with that. They're pretty forgiving. You start popping and banging, they let some air by, and they'll seal themselves back up. But I think if you're really going after boost, I think the copper and the hoops are the way to go.
Hoops the way to go. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, like the top fuel cars and stuff.
Absolutely. When you're just playing around, going slow like we're doing, it don't really much matter.
Seems like one of the hardest things on them is at least in the no prep stuff that I've dealt with. Some of the cars that I tune on, the guys will grab the scramble. If they spin early or, got somebody really fast in the other lane, they'll put 20 on the button. Well, as soon as they grab the scramble, they lift the heads. So and I mean, I'm guilty of the same thing. I did that trying to track down Nigel at LS Fest. I had 20 on the button. Let's get it. And I mean, I didn't lift the heads. It flashed the converter 8600 and let's go. But
there's a lot of places that I don't even make 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Like 20 on the button. That is the most foreign thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's no prep. He's raising prep.
I can teach you how. Let me in the tune up.
I do think this year I'm going to throw a pro bracket on or maybe even a pro radial and we'll try to clamp this pre-runner truck suspension I have down and see if we can go pretty fast with it for a day.
Short chain links.
I only run one kit, so my biggest scramble is 3 degrees of timing on the button, biggest ever. So,
yeah, I think 7 or 8 pounds is the most I've ever had on the scramble, and that was against you, Mark, and you can see it in the video when I hit the button.
Let's play it.
I can't believe it held. I was like, oh my god, and then it kind of didn't. It kind of failed on me.
It kind of went in.
Didn't lose traction. It just about hit the rail.
Yep.
John, switching to the shop side of it, what is the best story you have of something going crazy on the dyno?
Oh man, I've had a couple of them blow up.
Yes.
I can't really I can't really take. I'm just checking for my guy out here. Nobody yet. I got a car getting delivered from Oregon tonight, so always something crazy going on. But I had actually one of my good friends, Tyler from 269 Motorsports. I had his car here last summer, and we were shooting for a certain power number. We were 12 horsepower down from where he wanted to end the night. It was happy, plugs were soft, we were ready to go to the track. And he actually had a rental that afternoon. So we were supposed to wrap up, figured one more pull, make his number, send him off to the track. That thing folded a Compstar rod, scattered. It shot a fireball. Obviously it bent a couple valves. It blew the high ram lid off the car, half through his hood, bounced it off the hood. The chunk of high ram went out the door. It was outside, 50 feet outside. The lower intake's full of fire because it's full of fuel. Meanwhile, they're recording because they wanted info they wanted video for their channel. Everything was going great. Everything was perfect. And that sucker scattered everywhere. So they have it on video. And he sends me pictures of the plugs. The plugs don't even have any CAD burn yet. There was no cooling system pressure. Everything was perfectly happy. It just tacoed one of those China rods. So he whipped another short block together, and the story is great. He pulled it together. We got it back on the dyno, made his power number. He took the car to LS Fest and won True Street with it, which was the original goal before I broke it. And yeah, so his was probably the biggest like fireball. I've had a couple trucks throw drive shafts, and drive shafts are probably the worst because usually they destroy the transmission when they do it, and they put 10 quarts on the floor as fast as the drive shaft comes out. So yeah, a few interesting ones.
And then you drive like one of the rarest, highest horsepower foreign cars around.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that 03 RS6 Audi.
Okay. And
yeah, actually, yeah, I'd like to get rid of that one. I just bought a replacement to it. So nice. I'm going to be in trouble with the wife if I don't get rid of that one soon. So it's a pretty nice car though. Oh, I think my guys are here. There's something I can
take a break.
All right, that sounds good. I will yeah, I'll be back here in just a minute.
Sounds good. So how you doing, Mark?
I'm good. What's going on?
Good. Do you want to leave things for the video, or you want to kind of share what you're in the middle of, maybe?
We can show. Here's some bearings. You see that? I mean, literally 654 passes we got on that motor. Jasper knows about it.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It just runs.
Yeah, it had some dirt in it. It was whipped. But yeah, I'll show you the block real quick. We'll come over here.
So did it blow a head gasket or no?
It never blew a head gasket. It just lost compression in one cylinder. It stuck a ring from the timing we had. Wasn't correct, but I don't know if you can see in the cylinder. I mean, it's 600 passes on this thing. It's great shape. We got pistons over here. Let's see. I think this one here. I don't know. Can you see where it raised?
Oh, yeah. I see it.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Not bad for that many passes on a nitrous car. I'll tell you that.
That's impressive. Had a good life.
Yeah.
For sure. Awesome. So yeah, we're going to be doing a series on Mark. And we're going to be doing a series on Mark. So you guys are going to kind of see everything before and after and everything. And we lost you there, Mark. He'll be back in a second. Okay.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back now. You're good.
I'm using it off of a phone. We don't have Wi-Fi at this shop yet. We're just doing it off a phone, so it's a little slow.
I got you. Are you going to be able to have your motor back together this week? Do you think you'll get your parts in time?
No, because I was 2 weeks out on pistons. The bore size is a 4600 bore. I run just a coated Wiseco. And they wanted us to bore the block to get pistons faster, but we're going to wait. The bore is perfect still in it. So we're just waiting for pistons. They'll probably be here in time, but I'm still waiting on my crank to get MagnaFlux, and they're checking the big end of the rods and stuff. So it's just a steel rod. We run a Cali's Ultra rod in that. So we're just waiting for that stuff to get back. I don't know. I got the Pro Stock truck. It's ready to go. So we definitely are going to be at Gila Bend. And, yeah, they got a little bit of a scramble. Depends on how you set it up.
Okay. Yeah, he was asking about that. So you're going to be running the pickup truck then?
Yep. Yeah, we got that pickup truck, and we got this one here. Some people will know it, some won't. But
okay.
We just put front springs in it and got it set up. It was a little tight out on the street, so we got that thing hauling ass. We'll have that there in the Pro Stock truck, so it'll be a good time anyway.
Nice. Sounds great. Definitely looking forward to it. How's the weather out in Arizona?
What is it out today? 75, I think. I think it's 75. We were supposed to be out on the street right now testing, but way out in the desert, we don't have much service, so we're just kicking back in the shop.
Nice.
Are you putting smalls on the truck? What's the next street race you're getting into?
The next street race, you see everyone's kind of held up until this Gila Bend race is over. So I'm going to take the truck and run it in big tire. I'm going to take a little white here, and we're going to run it in small tire. And then like the couple days after that, there's some serious street racing going on. So we're hoping to have Chicken Head back together by then. It's sitting out back looking like a monster truck with that long travel, so.
Oh, I can imagine.
No motor or anything like.
I saw someone ask when Sick Week started. It's already started. They were doing test passes or whatever today at the track, and
Yeah.
pretty awesome to see how fast Nick Taylor went right off the trailer.
What'd he go?
7:10, 7:15, somewhere in there, and a 4:66 in the 8th.
He went to a turbo LS, or what did he go to?
Yep, went to a turbo LS. I don't think the big block probably ran pretty good too.
Yeah, check this out. It's kind of funny just because it's sitting outside because it's so nice here. It's still daylight, but looks like a monster truck.
That's
sitting
definitely
out back
sitting
with no
up.
motor in it. Oh,
Okay.
damn. That's rolling. 194. Oh, yeah, we got some sand cars out here. You see, that's a Busa-powered little sandbot car over there.
Oh, cool. Do you guys actually do sand racing out there?
Yeah, there's definitely some sand racing. You have to turn the lights on. There's definitely a lot of sand racing going on. But right now, the main focus was to get Chicken Head's motor done. We got it all apart here. It'll be done soon. But we got the, like we said, we got a pro stock truck. It works really well on the street. Jasper, we've been on the street with it quite a bit. Which that's here.
Yeah, we're losing Mark there. He'll be back in a minute. Oh.
He's in and out there.
Yeah. So what kind of
see the truck in the freeze frame?
Definitely. What have you ever? Oh, there you go. He back? There he is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, also you're keeping yourself busy out there, so that's definitely exciting for sure. That's a pretty big size shop out there.
Yeah, wherever the heck he's at is sweet.
We got some
what's the name of the shop?
It's Madman Jim right there. He owns the place. He just lets us run in here and run wild, long as we clean our mess up. So we're doing all right over here.
What's the name of the shop out there? So you can kind of give him a plug there.
It's Jim's Auto.
Okay.
Some stuff, Jim's Auto is.
Oh, we lost you there. Alrighty.
Can you guys hear
back
me?
with us in a little bit here. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Man, I don't know. I don't got very good Wi-Fi here. We're working on it. The building's really insulated. The building's really insulated.
You're doing pretty good.
Yeah, that's a question up there for you.
Phoenix,
most of the action?
Phoenix, Florence, Apache. We're in Apache Junction right here. That's where we're at right now. But most of the racing's going on in Phoenix, Florence, or if you want to go out to Compton. But right here in Phoenix.
That's where most of it is. So a lot of the guys from California, other places come out to Phoenix most of the time.
Yeah, they do that a lot. Or there's been a lot of racing going on in Vegas too. So
okay,
we're just kind of in the middle here.
I got you. All right. Well, are you going to do any? You're building the motor. Are you going to make it any different than it was, or are you just going to keep it the way that it was, like same compression, same everything?
Our internet's not very good. We're not doing a very good job.
That's okay. So are you doing any different changes on your motor? Are you going to change compression or do anything else since you got the part? Or you're just going to put it?
We gapped the rings a little more so we can spray it a little harder if we need to. The top ring was shiny where they come together. I didn't have quite enough ring gap for what I was doing. So other than ring gap change, we're not changing nothing. That thing hauls ass.
Okay. Yeah, it definitely gets down. More than enough.
Yeah.
Excellent. So Jasper, what fun project are you working on behind you back there? Is that your car?
Nope. We got a buddy's car over here. Used to be Brandon Sullivan's car. What was the name of it? What was Public Enemy.
Okay.
It was like out of Indiana.
Yeah.
A buddy bought that and put an LS turbo in it. Go figure. Mustang with an LS. And we're putting a fuel tech in it right now. We'll have some video on it. We started a little bit, so we'll have to catch it up in the video. But putting a FT 550 in it with an unterminated harness. I like the unterminated harnesses better because you can make them lighter.
Okay.
But they're definitely harder because you have to wire every end and everything. They don't just plug and play. But
okay.
I think that's it. I mean, we had to mount some coils and stuff, but nothing too major on this one. And then should have mine back in here next week because a bunch of parts we ordered should show up. And we'll start slamming that together. And then we'll probably have the orange car in here and start messing with that because we've got a big block aluminum 540 big block that we're going to put in that. And actually John Capizzi is doing a turbo 400 for us right now for that. And these guys are going to kill me if I don't hit this. Go ahead. Did the internet fail again?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
So,
okay.
do we have any, did you chance to talk to our guest for next week?
He has not messaged back yet, but
I said it's at 540 a boost motor.
Yep. 540 Aries block.
Yeah.
What heads?
Dart 380.
So some Dart 380 heads. Tall deck, 540 Aries motor. We're gonna run a 98 millimeter on it, and probably try to go pretty fast.
Yeah, it will. I got a 540 Donovan with a 1471 Cabelco on it that, they'll make 3,000 or whatever.
Sweet. So someone I can remember might have parts.
Yeah, I got those. If it's big block, come see me.
We tend to wreck stuff sometimes.
Hey.
Yeah, my buddy Jeff bought that, and we're gonna do a bunch of work to that, and probably try to do maybe a couple different events with that one, just because of how much power we can make with it. We might try one of Peso's chain races. Just I guess sit in the lanes for hours and argue with people for a day.
Well, I got a bunch of Samurais if you need a push car, so hit me up.
I see that. What is going on there? Would you find them out there? Like some dude was like,
dude,
I'll give them to you for this if you buy all 40.
Yeah, this lady showed up. Is like, I got a 68 Kawasaki Suzuki in my garage. So we go over there looking to look at a boat and a motorcycle. And she opens the door, and here's this 88 Suzuki Samurai that looks like it just rolled off the showroom.
Yeah,
we had to have it. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
The slowest thing in the whole planet. You've never driven anything more underpowered, especially a lifted one.
Did anyone else see that sweet LS Geo Metro that was floating around Facebook?
The Geo Tracker one that was at LS Fest?
No, it's like a Geo Metro with an LS swap in it that someone is selling for $4,500. I want to goon around in it so bad.
We had a friend that had a Geo Metro with a small box Chevy. It was stretched a little bit to meet wheelbase requirements. That thing went 690s, but he ended up dying in it. So I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah, it didn't look safe. It did not.
I picked Jess up from the airport yesterday in that Suzuki. We're driving down the highway as fast as it goes, 68 miles an hour, and a gust of wind almost blew us off the road. We almost crashed. All right, that's enough of this.
Oh, that's awesome.
No wonder they can't find him anywhere.
So what's going on with Little White?
Little White is fucking flying.
Why is it on the hoist?
Oh, because the front, remember how it used to set all Cali leaned out? Well, the front end never moved. So now that it has power, when it leaves, it's already on top of the front suspension. So it has this big old hop. We couldn't get out of it. So we just had to put some different front springs and shocks, and we had to make it work now that it makes power.
But working pretty good?
Yep, I think so. I don't know. It's on the hoist. We just got it done. I was supposed to be out. We were going to go testing tonight, but we went on an off-road ride in the desert and started drinking, so we'll try it another day.
It happens.
Yep.
For sure. So we got some good things happening here on the channel as well. So RPM Networks, we're going to be going on board with them this the end of this week here. We're going to be sending some links out where you guys can subscribe to it. We're going to have a sneak peek of shows. We're going to have a bunch of series. You're going to see Mark. You're going to see Jasper and a bunch of others that are are going to be on there. You'll see all of our regular content and our shows as well. So we'll be in Amazon TV, Fire. We'll be Apple TV. You're going to see us on Roku. You're going to see us everywhere on that network. So we appreciate anybody who wants to subscribe and like to that. We'll wait until we send the links out for that. It helps support us. There'll be content released on there before we release it on our channels as well too. It's kind of a reward to the members who join us on that. And thanks for supporting all of us and our shows and everything. And so just to give you guys a heads up on that, this is the that's our RPM networks. And so you guys will see us soon. You'll be able to watch all the live stream events on their TV from home and comfortably through the networks as well too. So we got some special things. So there'll be a great benefit to signing up on there. What am I missing?
Oh, nothing.
What's so funny, Mark? What's so funny back there?
Well, like you can definitely see that beside your head.
Oh, back there.
Yeah.
I see behind you.
Yes, it's the boob gauge. You see how big the boobs are if they fit in the holes, you know. Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But we did take video of the teardown. I sent it to Brian. He's making the video for it now. And as soon as we get some parts in, we'll be showing the video about doing the block and getting everything ready. And we'll have that over to you soon. So, like, the whole thing will be videoed, and we'll have all the footage for it. We're just kind of stuck around waiting for parts. So we're kind of at a halt here.
I'm going to be really, 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 really bummed out. Like, on a serious note, like, no joking around. If you don't end up personally sending me a photo with some tits in that thing, I'm going to be mad. Like, I'm going to be disappointed.
I'll see what we can do.
Y'all gonna make a night at the strip club and say, you know, have all the girls dress it out. That'd be funny.
Jess is shaking her head. I don't think she's about it. So
Little White's out there. He's single. He better bring someone back or be taking that with him to street races.
Yeah, we got Jim. He's single. Joey's single. We'll get you a picture at some point. We'll get you something.
Jasper, do you want me to play a sneak peek of just that intro part to that video, or you want to wait? Okay, so we're going to show you guys a little short clip. You're really going to be able to find this on the RPM network.
Show us what the Scramble button does, that one video.
I'll come back to that in a second. Hold on. Send me the link for that, and I'll get that posted up. All right, so we'll share this here with you guys.
That'll definitely be a viral video. 17 holes.
Yeah.
One no hole, 2 10 hole. Savage Garage, action!
That's funny.
So you guys are going to see a new weekly series coming out of Jasper's Garage and all the projects and things that they're doing. We're going to start out with when his accident was. And we have lots of cool footage and lots of stuff to show you guys. And a lot of good stuff happening out of that. Mark Mosier is going to give us a street life. He's part of the street racer. He's starting off with his motor build and going from there. And we found him around and Jasper around to different events and stuff. So you guys can see kind of how their cars are doing, what's going on with them, in addition to the footage that we do at the regular events that we go to on a regular basis and stuff. So you guys see a lot of new footage. It'll be on the TV, on the RPN network. And then later on, it'll come out onto the regular channels here. So those are for the subscribers, you know, so definitely support us. We appreciate it. And you guys will definitely like that for sure. And
we got these on sale still. If anyone's still looking for one, just message me. I'll get them sent out.
Nice. Speaking of that, we have, I'm glad you brought that up. So he has his shirts that are available on order for the Chicken Head. definitely look up Mark Mosier and definitely check that out. In addition, also we have pre-orders just launching today finally. So we're gonna have hoodies available of no prep. It's kind of like sex, better without the rubber, raw out of the concrete. We gotta have that. You gotta have that shirt. So they are officially in the pre-order started today. And if you want stickers thrown in there, we have a special on the stickers as well too. But so you can go to MidwestStreetKings.com. And matter of fact, here I'll actually put it up for you guys to take a look here. Give me 1 second. So here you guys can see the merchandise. We have mugs on there for our street life. You got LL Spool J on there. Stuff for the kids, hoodies, and we have to get the boob gauge. You know, and that's gonna have to get that going though. Everyone's gonna ask for that. We gotta figure out how to reproduce that.
That's funny, boy.
Oh, for sure, guys.
We want some. We'll take 4 of them hoodies whenever you're ready to get us. Give me a call.
Okay, not a problem. We'll take care of that. And so what else? So Jess, what is have you built a strong stock block before? Either of you guys, or you guys just had built blocks mostly?
I used to run small blocks with stock blocks back in the day, and we blew them up all the time. We run 383 type stuff before I had any money, and 250 kits is all they would take. About 15 passes, you break a cylinder. So that's why we moved up to the dark blocks and stuff.
She's like, oh, yeah, man. He's confused. He's like, oh.
There we go. Sorry about that, guys.
That's all right.
It really is.
I don't know. We ran one the first 2 years. Yeah, like or maybe a year, but we went through 3 of them. I think it was like 1 year last year, not this year or whatever, the year before last, 2 years ago or something. We ran a stock block with some like Trick Flow 245s, and we ran it with ethanol without an intercooler, so we were already like really pushing our luck. But pretty much what I found out is in that scenario, we could make about like 1350. And if we started to try to make much more than that, it would just burn the head gasket up because it would create too much heat and nothing was cooling it. We switched to methanol at the end of the year on the stock block, and we drew Billy, so we put a ton in it. And it ended up holding, and we won, but it blew up about 500-foot mark. It shot 2 rods out the bottom of the pan. Oof. It did still drive back to the pits and on and off the trailer. It'd like start, but yeah, it didn't like more than 1,500 horse on the rods we were using, and I'm sure John's a lot better at that than we are, or the ones we had a quite a bit of wear on them. Mm-hmm. And
yeah, that's amazing. Name numbers he was telling us. That was crazy.
I mean, we had rods, crank, and pistons in a stock block, so I mean, it was pretty good. But we found that, and at least in my experience, for the most part, if you make much more than 1,500 horse, you're just on super borrowed time. Like, I guess you could put like billet I-beams in it, and maybe it would last longer. Maybe you could make like 17. As long as you weren't doing it, all the way down track, just, a little second at the end or something. But I don't know. I was super happy to switch to the Dart one we have now, and really good parts, because now we just don't even worry about it because we don't, have to make that much power very often. Yeah. Like somewhere like War in the Woods, we were putting down a lot of power. On a Dega, you put down a little bit, but not that much. If we go to Cincy Street Nights this year, which I do want to go to because it's a really cool track and event, Jason and the Tin Soldier guys do such an amazing job, and it's a brand new surface and stuff, but it's ridiculously fast. I don't know if anyone saw the final at some point this year where it was Beater Bomb and Bill Lutz, and good God, speculating, but like they were 450s on a no prep. It was flying. So to go there, we might just bring the orange car.
I got you. Okay.
Who's orange car? Who's it gonna be?
Jeff Berry bought it.
Okay.
You know, they've had all sorts of cars and cool shit for a long time.
Cool deal.
You know,
Yeah,
Sure.
we've been kind of slow out here. We've been testing and getting our stuff right, but the real street racing ain't gonna start going on until after the 12th. Once that's over, someone had to follow us around the camera because that's when it gets wild. So
how long are you out there?
until it's warm at home, you know. Hey, I'll fly you guys out whenever you're ready.
I'm getting close.
Yeah.
It sucks here right now, man. There's like a foot of snow, and it's not really going away. And
Get that car done and bring it with you.
yeah, I need to get one of them done. Like I said, there's not much on mine once we get going. I got to hook some brakes up, like one of the floor mount brake pedals with the master cylinder behind it. And I
Whose
got
car is that one?
Victor's.
Okay.
But yeah, it should be. We're wiring that one right now.
I think I'm the only guy in the world that didn't know Victor got in an accident out here. I just seen that the other night. I was like, I didn't know he got in an accident. That was
Went into a brawl.
yeah, for sure.
My favorite part though was like as he's on the chip. Did you notice his dash says second tight?
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Wow. Yeah, so Joey, you know Joey, little white here, and my dad got into an argument there about who's gonna gap who. So my dad took that pro stock truck and little white to the street and went to
Yeah, it
war.
didn't look good for him.
No, yeah, it made him look. The little white's pretty fast, but it made it look pretty slow sat next to that other truck.
Yeah, the truck works.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of big tire stuff going on out there?
Yeah, this weekend there's a big tire race, and but much other than that, there's not a lot of big tire stuff here. It's always small tire stuff. Hey,
Now, Mark, you sent me 2 videos, Mark?
yeah,
What
one
were
of them
those
was an
videos?
accident. The other one is Little White in the pro stock getting it done on the street. If you want to show.
How we're doing it, we're charging.
Yep.
That's 2 trucks going at it. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up. I think John's still busy with his customers, so we'll start having him back another day, and we'll talk some more and talk tuning and stuff like that. And we thank everybody for watching. Definitely see us with stuff happening this week. And again, we have our pre-order of our shirts and our hoodies. Please go to MidwestStreetKings.com. Go check that out. You guys can place your order online. And as soon as we get the order together, we'll start getting those shipped out. So we appreciate you guys' support. It's definitely a badass hoodie. Mark's still got some t-shirts left too, so go check him out. And Jasper has a new mug as well too. Nope, I can't hear you, Jasper.
Yeah, that thing's sweet.
I want to see it. Where's it at?
You want to see his mug? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I ain't got no mug. Besides this one.
It's a mug on a mug.
Oh, it's an LL Spool J, and you're welcome for the name, homie.
Dude, is
This
it not?
one right
Like,
there.
it is literally one best name ever already. Like, it has so many posts where people are like, dude, that's the best name I've ever heard.
If you guys need cool names, give me a call. I'll figure it out.
Definitely. That was a pretty cool. So, but go to MidwestStreetKings.com. So we appreciate the support from you guys. It helps keeps us going. And definitely, we'll work on getting that the titty ring back there size chart. You know, yeah, we need
Whatever
some
it is,
samples.
whatever it is.
Next show, we need a sample. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
we'll all be kicked off here. Don't tell
But
me that.
anyway, so
What car's
all right,
named
guys.
Reptar? Jasper?
What's
What?
that?
You said a car's named Reptar?
I think Victor might name this one back here Reptar.
That'd be awesome.
That's what I thought too. I was like, dude, that's a good name. So I'm trying to force it by telling everyone right now, like,
Heck yeah.
just call it
All
Reptar.
right. Well, when you get a minute, give me a call. I got some questions about that cam sensor thing. If you got time. No
I
hurry.
do.
And same with you, Brian. We'll talk about you getting out here. So
Yeah, hang on for a minute. We'll off air here. So, all right, guys. So we'll catch you guys later, and we have a nice surprise guest for you next week, possibly. So we'll let you know soon, and we'll see you guys next at our Thursday show before I jet out of town. So, you all have a great day. Take care, and see you next time.